Hello everyone and welcome back to another Conan Exiles. In this one we're doing all the Lemurian lorestones. The first one is right here, which is on H8, which I'll quickly get the map up and zoom in. This island right here at the ruins, so let's get this one.
You are not alone. You are not less than them. You can be free. You do not have to believe their lies. I have left these stones for you, my lost and misguided children. I have subverted their sorceries, so that only slaves of the bracelet can hear my message. I am the mother of your race. I am Secret Bearer, God Killer, Witch Queen. I will guide you. I will teach you, and when the time is right, I will free you.
Here is the second stone, which is at C10, right next to the circle of swords. I'll zoom right in on it. Right there.
Perhaps you were born a slave, and you do not remember the fate that shaped us. We were a people of the sea, voyagers and traders. Our islands were warm and prosperous, and we spent our days fishing and sailing. I was an apprentice to the cult of Dagon. But then came the great cataclysm. The world shook, and our islands exploded in fire and chaos. Then, slowly, they began to sink beneath the waves. The dark water came, lapping, unstoppable, inevitable. The ocean, once our ally, now claimed all that we were with an insatiable hunger. We gathered what boats and wreckage we could, and we fled into the west.
Right, and here's another stone. This one is at F9. So I'll open up the map so you can see where that is. Right next to this desert watch, right at the pool of water.
To know the past, child, is to avoid the same mistakes in the future. When we fled from our sinking islands, we made landfall on the eastern coast of this continent. There were a people there, with whom we had traded from time to time. As we made landfall on their coastline, they took it as an act of aggression. Half drowned, numbed by the loss of our homes, the wicked Kari took full advantage of our plight. We were rounded up, chained, and put to work. That was the first time that our people became slaves.
So here's the next stone. It is at F10. I'll zoom in on the map so you can see it. It's at Water Craig, I think it's called. Yeah, so it's right here, just behind this camp.
As masters, the Kari were relentless. For you, child, I do not need to detail the brutality of existence under the Kari. You live a similar fate today, under the yoke of your masters. Needless to say, there were those of us who were versed in lore that was alien to the Kari. Our island civilization was far more advanced than theirs. If the war had been a fair one, we would have shattered them with our powers. As it was, some of us escaped. A remnant of a remnant, thousands strong. But all that remained of a mighty empire. We fled west, always into the west.
Here's the next one. It's at G10 at the bottom of the camp. There's a camp just up there. It's right at the bottom of the hill. I'll zoom in on the map. So it is literally just here.
The trials of the journey were long, and our people grew weary. We came to the shores of an inland sea, and built boats and rafts to cross it. There were islands there, at least 2 of which had been inhabited before our coming. Some of our people chose to stay, hoping to recreate the seafaring life that we had enjoyed before the cataclysm. But the water had betrayed us once, so many of us continued westward. A remnant of a remnant of a remnant.
So here's the next one. It's at G10. There's the dam, and I'll zoom in on it so it helps you out right there.
And so we came at last to this king. It was a fertile land, rolling grasslands and temperate hills that gave way in the far south to the dryness of a desert. In the north were mountains, but not the snow-covered mountains that we had seen on our journey. Just jagged rocky peaks, and a swamp, thick and brooding, that lay over the eastern part of the region like a shadow. But it was clear that this land was inhabited. Carved blocks of mighty stone covered the landscape, and a crystal-clear lake in the north was dammed and siphoned along a great aqueduct. And the city, such engineering was beyond humankind. I saw the great monuments, the statues brooding over the river, and the towers that flamed unnaturally across the landscape. And I confess, I felt fear.
Right, this is in G11, which is right on top of this eyeball. Just a quick word of warning, you got to kind of climb up there and then jump from like island to island. So let's do this.
When we met the ones we call the Giant Kings, some of us fell to our knees in worship. Surely these were gods in living flesh, come to offer us respite at the end of our long journey. We could not speak their language, but our sorcerers and theirs came together and worked a powerful ritual. Enchanted gemstones enabled our communication. We forged bracelets to hold them. Thus could our communion with the Giant Kings begin.
Here's the next stone. It is at F11, just down there. I'll zoom in. It's a bit tricky to get to this one, right on top of here. So you need to come up here, stand on that, jump across and climb up, and it's just down here.
There were mistakes in this stumbling, fumbling relationship. Our allies had little contact with humans, and our impatience as a people meant nothing to creatures with such long lives. To us, they were painstakingly slow to deliberate and make decisions. To them, we were like children who rushed forward without thinking. Still, there was progress. They had agreed that we could settle the swampy lands on their eastern borders. For them, the land had little value, but to those of us who remembered our seafaring roots, it gave us a chance to be close to the water once again. And, given time, we would be able to call upon Dagon once again.
Here's the next one. It's at G11. Right at the bottom corner in this little cove right here. You have to climb up this mountain. There's some stairs just there.
In the beginning, our friendship with the Giant Kings bore great fruit. We traded with them knowledge, food, baubles, and both peoples prospered. But the Giant Kings became alarmed, I suspect, at the rate at which we gave birth. Theirs was a people who took centuries to reach childbearing age, and they remained few in number. Whereas we spread across our new lands and began to encroach upon theirs. In order to avoid this fate, I began sending scouting parties far to the north, outside of the borders of the Giant King's kingdom. They were to find fertile lands that would not encroach upon the territory of our hosts. Instead, we discovered something dark.
Right, the next stone is at E12, which is right on top of here. It's like at the very top of this mountain. The mountain's here, so we're going to quickly climb up it so you can see how to get up there.
Shall I speak, child, of the passage that our scouts found, leading into the very bowels of the earth? Dare I speak of the fantastic city that they found there? Broad squares with twisted temples to the blasphemous elder gods, who were before mankind, and will be ever after. No, I need not speak of these things to strike true dread into your heart, child. I need only tell you of the creatures that dwelt in the city. Beings that lived only in story, and the primal fears of the human heart. For beneath the earth, we discovered what remained of the serpent men of Volusia.
Right, here's the next one. It's at F11. I'll zoom right in on it for you. There's exactly there. There's the obelisk. So, and it's just here in this corner next to the steps.
We confronted the Giant Kings and the Triumvirate with their darkest secret, and they did not deny it. How could we trust them, allied as they were with the ancient enemies of mankind? I gave them an ultimatum. To give us the northern lands, to stay their hand while we exterminated the serpent men. They refused. War was inevitable.
So here is the next one. This one is at F12 at the top of the stairs where the 11th one was, and zoom right in on it, and there it is.
In wartime, there is enough blame. Who struck the first blow? I cannot say. They enslaved you, twisting the bracelets to their corrupted ways. We retaliated by destroying their aqueduct. We established an outpost, Zula, in the north, to watch the serpent men and prevent them from joining with their allies. And I began to formulate a powerful sorcery to ensure the safety of our people.
And this is the final stone, which is the 13th one, which is in F10. I'll zoom right in on my location, right there. As you can see, that's the surrounding, so let's start it.
The war continues, child. I cannot say when it will end. You may not remember us. You may not have been born among us. But I urge you to join us. Resist. Sabotage the Giant Kings and their works. We are coming for you.
And that's it. So we've discovered all of them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.